back to the Accommodation Show. This week I am joined by a fabulous guest called Marc Hostovsky from Minoan. Welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thanks, Bart.
It's really nice to have you on the show. I'm excited about today's topic because we will be talking about how to furnish your Airbnb or short-term rental property like a pro. And you are one of the people that has been delving in this space and developed an awesome tech tool to help with this. So today's topic, I'm really pumped for. We haven't done it before. But before we get going, Marc, I'd love you to introduce yourself. Let everybody know a little about your history in the maybe tech space and in the hospitality space, and what you guys do in the industry now.
Yeah. So a little bit about myself. I was an early employee at a company called Jet.com, which was an e-commerce marketplace based in the New York area. Within launching the business, it went from $0 in revenue to doing $80 million a month in revenue within 10 months. The founders sold that business to Walmart. I took over about a $400 million business at Walmart, and spent a lot of time learning the ins and outs of retail, both the e-commerce side, thinking about the digital experiences, and the store side, thinking about the aisles and the modular. And yeah, long story short, I realized pretty quickly that the best product experiences don't actually happen on screens the way they do in e-commerce. They don't happen on shelves and aisles in stores, the way they would in a Walmart or a Target or any store. The best product experiences happen in real life, in real moments of use. It's much better to sleep on a mattress for a couple nights and see how you feel when you wake up than it is to scroll through pictures of one on your phone and read other people's reviews, or to walk into a mattress store and lie on one for 2 seconds with a salesperson leaning over you. So that's what sort of inspired us to start Minoan, which we call a native retail platform. And what we're really passionate about is creating those sorts of moments, those real life moments, and making sure that the people who are creating these moments, like hosts and hospitality professionals, are getting credit for the value of those moments. And you get credit for those moments by paying way less for all the stuff you're bringing in, whether it's mattresses, decor, soap, shampoos, cookware, furniture, and making money when a guest comes to your property, uses a product, and is so inspired that they want to buy it. And so that's sort of what we do at Minoan, and connecting those two things. And we've been at it for about 1.5 years now.
I can't wait to explain to everyone all the intricacies of what we've just talked about, because we've had a pre-chat before this, and it took me a little bit of time to figure out how does this all work, and then the experience, and then the products, and then the thing. So I'm going to break it down really quickly for everyone so that if you are just tuning in, you're like, what are they going to talk about? It's basically this. You can make more money from your room, and it doesn't have to be a short-term rental. We can be in a hotel. You can make more money from your hotel room through selling products that people are using. So beds, furniture. You showed me before a little radio. It was
Yes.
a cool little radio.
Speakers, soaps, shampoos, robes, appliances. I mean, we're selling everything. We're selling cookware. Some people are going in and using cookware sets and saying, I love this, Caraway cook set. I want to buy it. We've had people buy everything from shower stools to hanging hooks for clothes to tea kettles to, you think about it, if you're furnishing a 2-bedroom short-term rental from scratch, you need to buy 180 items. There's a lot of stuff that you put in these spaces. And just like you were saying, I think being strategic and thoughtful about what products you pick and how you think about monetizing these products, or potentially monetizing these products, can make a really big difference on the profitability of your unit overall.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm going to come back to this because I'm going to equate this to a few things that are already happening in this retail space. So you've got that one side, right? We're going to become more profitable by being able to sell products that we've got within the experience that someone's having with us. The other side of where Minoan sits, it's to actually furnish the place like a pro, as we were talking about. So sourcing the products and understand that there's also a gap there. So I'm gonna quickly summarize this and let you take over. But with the sourcing part, if you don't have a fantastic deal with your suppliers, then you need to listen to this episode because this is a moment of inflection for you where you're going to go, oh, hold on a second. I need to get new beds every how often? I need to get new furniture every how often? I'm scaling my business. I'm going to need furniture for new units for my new hotel. How do I go about the procurement side of things where I do not have the scale to negotiate big deals? And this is where kind of Minoan fits in. So if we're answering that question, how to furnish your place like a pro, where do we start and what do we do? Apart from just going, hey, just get your solution and thing, but
Yeah, I think
what's the
I
thinking?
think the first step, quite simply, is realizing the value that you bring to these suppliers and brands by featuring them in your property. I think too often the relationship between your mattress supplier or linen supplier or soap and shampoo supplier is that of a uh, supplier and customer. The mattress company says, I'm selling to you as a customer and I make money off of that sale. What we really do is push brands to view these hospitality spaces not just as customers for them to profit off of, but actual marketing partners to help them reach even more customers. If you have a two-bed Airbnb, I mean, that's small even, but let's stick with that math. Assuming two turns a week, 70% occupancy, I think that gets you to about 300 people a year staying in this property. Brands, these suppliers, the same suppliers you're buying your mattresses from and all that stuff, are spending tons of money on Facebook and Google to get in front of people digitally, to get an ad, to get on an Instagram page. Sometimes $7 for a click. Digital impression lasts 2 seconds. So we're like, well, if you're paying $7 for that, what's it worth for this person to have someone come in and sleep on your mattresses, 2 or 3 nights in a row? And what is it worth to have 300 people do that? And so we take that math and we apply that. Well, then this is the price they should pay for that mattress, not this price. And so thinking about the first step is understanding the value that you bring to these brands. It's a two-way relationship, not a one-way relationship. And also on having a little bit of context as to like, what are these suppliers trying to do? They're trying to drive sales. They're spending money to get in front of people and drive sales. Well, you're putting this product in front of people just inherently as part of your business. And so what we focus on is making sure that hosts are aware of this value, capitalize on the value so they get really, really good discounts. And then collect commission checks if they do have people who come in and sleep on a mattress and want to buy it, or use the kettle and love it, or use an exercise bike and say, man, I really like this and want to buy it. So that's what we're focused on. But even if you're not using Minoan, I would say be strategic about furnishing, think about the partners you're bringing in, and be confident in the value that comes along with just creating those special moments between the people and products in your spaces, because that's not easy for these brands to come by.
Yeah,
It's
and I think
so
this particularly will work well in different categories, and it's almost like you need to figure out what your pitch is to each of those different brands or those suppliers, right? So really good examples. I love the mattress example, which I want to go back to, but let's break it down into soaps, right? Because I think that's something that people can quite rapidly just get their heads around and go, oh, cool, I get it. Soaps, I know how to go and I know exactly what conversation to be had with the particular supplier. Can you take me through that?
like how we talk to the supplier and how we would encourage you to
Oh
talk to
yeah,
the supplier.
how you guys talk to the supplier of soaps, and then how and that
Well, like,
idea would then
yeah.
translate to. I mean, we're talking like a hotel, right? Like hotels going through a lot of their soap and a lot of product and a lot of exposure, right? So you've got scale. That's what I'm getting at with soap. It's the easiest one
Yeah.
to show that thing. So I'm running a hotel. I'm running a property management company with 1,000 doors, and I can choose whichever soap supplier I want. And we're trying to reframe that conversation. Um, how would we go about reframing the conversation with the supplier?
Yeah, the first thing you could do if you're doing a little bit of homework here is you could look at that supplier and search them on Google and see if they come up in a PLA, product listing ad, or a text ad on Google. Um, if yes, they're spending money on Google to get in front of people, to try and get in front of people, which is something you can clearly do. Um, and think about it, getting someone to use soap and shampoo in the shower where it's designed to be used is much more valuable than throwing an ad in front of somebody for a little bit online. So if they're advertising already, then when you're having the conversation with them, you can say, listen, we're going to have a lot of people using this soap and shampoo. We know that you're spending money on advertising to get in front of people. We can get you in front of people. What we can do is have an elegant way to let our guests know that they're using your specific soap and shampoo. So we'll make that in the retail world, that's a branded impression. It means like we will let them know like, oh, this is actually Public Good soap and shampoo. We're going to make that clear to them. And we'll have a way where if guests really like the soap and shampoo, they can scan a code and buy it really easily. So we're going to make it easy for our guests to actually buy your products, drive retail sales back to you. In exchange for that, which is very valuable, you've said this is your price. We need to pay this price because we're going to help you drive more sales in the future. This isn't just transactional. It's not just us buying soap from you. It's us helping you get this soap used by thousands. I mean, it's a hotel, depending on the room count, thousands, tens of thousands of people a year. What is that price step for you? You know, what are you paying for a click on Google? Do the math. That's how I would encourage anyone to approach the conversation. And when we approach these conversations, we do it very scientifically. So we'll look at the CPCs, we'll look at the CPMs, we'll look at the category, we'll talk about, we have all this research about haptics and proprioception and how valuable it is for that brand to get people touching, using, feeling product, like all the things they care about, conversion, willingness to pay, brand recall, it goes through the roof. These are like the perfect moments. That's what you want. I mean, getting someone to use, if it's soap and shampoo, getting someone to actually use your soap and shampoo in the shower, that's like impossible. That's the dream state, and it's impossible for them to do. You can't do that in a store. You can't do that on a website. And so we really hammer this message of like, this is great, this is where you should be. So they're like, how do I get there? How do I get there? I'm like, well, you use us, you know, and we can help you get there, but the price needs to be very, very good. That's the only way we'll work with you. And I think we have our own system and platform that makes it easy for a host to do this, especially if you're managing a complex business or there's a lot going on. But you don't have to use us. I mean, whether or not you're using Minoan, you are creating these moments. Those moments are valuable. To connect the full loop and really show the brand like the value of the impressions and stuff that they're used to seeing, you do need a little bit of technology. I mean, that's what we've created. But the reality is just on that pitch alone and your own scrappy way of integrating the products, that should entitle you to better savings. We're just trying to make it easier.
I love it so much. This is kind of like for me a mic drop moment. We leave the room and we're done. The episode is over. Because I can promise you, Mark, that there's a lot of people that have never thought about this opportunity in this particular way. And they've never really maybe appreciated, because they're a hospitality business, right? They're dealing with guests and OTAs and everything else. Then they're not thinking about the power of the product that they actually have, and the power of associating an experience with a particular product. And if you're in marketing and branding and that sort of thing, you'll understand this very, very well. You know, how do we get this product in people's hands? That's why they go and, you know, you go and to the train station, they'll give out lots of stuff for free so that you try it, you give it a go, and then hopefully start to get hooked. But you've got such a better product. And particularly if you've got a particular kind of brand, and I keep on talking about brand within short-term rentals, and you've got to get your branding right because it just unlocks the door to more customers and these kind of opportunities. Because if you've got a brand that aligns with their brand, guess what? You've hit the nirvana.
Yeah.
And not only are you offering their products, but you're also leveraging those opportunities to then go and sell it back. Now, I know that Minoan's got the technical solution to offer. Let's go into that sort of second stage of packaging it up, and you said you will offer the soap, and then you'll package it up elegantly. Can you explain what that part means in a practical sense?
Yeah, so I think the integration of that experience and the shoppability in the space is an important part of what we just talked about, that negotiation. It's like the quid pro quo with the brand to get the better pricing. And there's a few things that to do that well, you need to be conscious of. One is you don't want to NASCAR the space, meaning you don't want to have price tags hanging from things. Like you want it to be elegant. I mean, we use these powder coated, elegant note cards that will sit like this. We spend a lot of time
You
designing
came
that.
prepared, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I do. I do. I end up talking to a lot of hosts and hotels, so it's good to have it right by my desk.
And if you're listening to it, then make sure you jump on the YouTube and you'll see exactly
Oh yeah.
exactly what it looks like.
Um, so thinking about the entry point for the guest and making sure it's like present but not overwhelming. It's not like we're trying to sell you stuff. It's just like, hey, there's a lot of cool stuff. You should take a look around. And if you want to buy it, great, make that easy. But if not, no worries. We're not in your face. That's really important. The second thing, sorry, getting to what you initially asked, is thinking about the service and delivery experience of that product specifically. And again, you can do this on your own. Like there are boutique hotels that before we worked with them, they were doing this on their own. Like they were packaging stuff and shipping it to hosts. And if there's a customer service issue, they were like, okay, dealing with the return, or okay, let me check where that is. Um, it's just a lot of work. And I don't think it's like there's so many other things that you have to deal with as a host or hospitality professional, particularly with guests, that dealing with the operations is not something typically that uh, a hotel or a host really has the time to do, but it is important and make sure that it's delivered properly. And so what we do is we work directly with the brands. We make sure that we're working with them on customer service, on delivery, on routing, the confirmation email. Like we're making sure that ordering a product from your property is as smooth, as clean, as easy, as elegant as ordering from like a Nordstrom or any brand, any retail specialist that delivers a really strong experience. And so that's a gap that we try to use technology and scale because we can do that a lot across a lot of different properties to help with.
Yeah. So I like it. So the presenting it elegantly, I think, is really a key part of that pitch and that proposition. And I encourage anyone that's kind of thinking of approaching a supplier and figuring out what to say, just rewind the episode, take the words out of Mark's mouth, write it down. We've actually got the show notes, so you'll be able to get it verbatim. This is exactly what you say. Use your own words, figure out a structure and a strategy to have this kind of a conversation. And the packaging, the elegant experience, for what you guys have suggested is put it in a QR code, have a nice little stand, not to be of service to someone, but not overbearing, like buy product. I'm here to
Yeah,
have a great experience, not to buy your
exactly.
the crap in your Airbnb, right? I don't need to buy more, but if I'm enjoying a product, I want to know where it's come from, how I can get it. Maybe I'll even get a discount by buying it direct
Oh
and
yeah.
that sort of thing. So as long as it's sort of that branding and marketing part and really understanding how to integrate it correctly, but also showing that value through to the suppliers. So the suppliers are like, oh, that's great. That's perfect. It's exactly how we think as well.
Yeah, you want it presented. There's lots of different ways to do this, right? Like, Marriott sells the stuff in their room. It's actually a pretty decent business for them. I think there's a lot of things they leave to be desired. It's like a card that you might miss or you might see that says a bunch of stuff and it has prices. And I think it's like, if you like this, you can call the front desk or something like that. And so you can do that. I think if I was consulting them, I would say, one, it should be a digital experience. I mean, people are digital savvy. They're used to exploring these products online. Do it there. Um, Two, why have someone call the front desk? That's enough friction where someone's like, I don't know if I like it that much. Why? Make it really easy. Um, and don't lead with price. We do not lead with price on our, so when we build shops for our partners, the first landing page just shows the products because it's not about, if you show a price and dollar sign, it's like, buy it. What we're saying is, no, here's the stuff in the property. Here's the tea kettle that you're going to use. Here are the coffee beans that are been prepared for you. Here's the mattress you're going to sleep on. Here's the pillows. Here's the linens. Here, learn more about it. Oh, if you like it, click one more time, click in. Then we bring up the price. Then we give you a little more product information. It's about leading with, it's like, this stuff is here. We just want to give you information about it. This is the stuff. Welcome to the home. Here's the stuff in the home. Here's some information about it. And so, again, we are retail experts. So we think that, we sweat the details. We want to get the little stuff right. And we also work with these properties that have incredibly high expectations. I mean, some of our boutique hotels, it's like over $1,000 a night in the off season. So that's, I think, best in class. I think I'm biased, but you could also, like, if you just wanted to scrappily set something up and just make things shoppable, you could go on Commission Junction and set up affiliate links, and you could try and build a site where it links people off to a bunch of different, it goes to Crate and Barrel, or it goes here, or it goes here. Um, there
Or
are some
you
strategies
could
to it,
you
but
could just do it all as an Amazon shopping cart type thing, or
yeah,
Amazon and put it all in there as well. They've got those sort of solutions now. By all means, just to be super clear, I by no means whatsoever want to promote Amazon. It just happens to be a means to an end. I think that there's many solutions out there that are comparable, if not better. But I'm just saying that in terms of, sometimes with these sorts of things, right? You go, all right, Minoan might not be the right fit because you might not be geographically located in the right place, right? We
mhm,
still want to give you guys value
yeah,
to be able to go and do these sorts of things, or it might not be the right solution for whatever. But you want to be able to start to think this way, because what that does is it improves the industry for everyone, and it pushes us forward and changes that relationship. And it's actually a better one. It's a win-win for the supplier. It's a win-win for us as well, because we're
yeah.
improving the experience for everybody and that sort of thing. One thing that I want to ask you about, Mark, is we've started to explore it. What's the that fine line between it being improving the guest experience and it being tacky?
That's a good. I think that the entry point into the experience, not leading with price. I'll give you some pointers, stuff that we do that you guys could try and do on your own. You will not find on any of our cards or anything the word buy, cart, none of these words associated with retail. You will find words like explore, discover, shop. Shop is this is very subtle. Shop is a much lighter word than buy. Shop is about browsing, seeing, looking for inspiration. Buying is about a transaction. So you can think about the words that you're using in to put this experience together. And the other thing is I would say is try and make it native and comprehensive. Like, try and have all the products on one site, whether it's a Shopify, or if you are interested in using us and you can use us, that's how we approach it. But I think thinking about the words, thinking about the presentation, not leading with price, because that's what retailers do. We're in the experience economy. We lead with the experience and the product. We'll reveal the price later on if you like the product. So those are all little things um, that you can do. And for us, we're trying to, the nice thing about scale here is we could see this across hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of properties. And so we can do some testing to figure out, like, what's the best product to put in the number one spot? Like, is it the soap? Is it the mattress? Is it the cookware? And so these are all things that we're really interested in testing and seeing what works. And then in our network, we apply those changes across. But for people not in our network, we can also share like, put the soap in there. People love the soap, and try and help hosts out.
So, look, I'm gonna start to wrap us up because there's been a huge amount of value, and I think that it's kind of I wonder what everybody's appetite to sort of go and explore a bit more and figure out their own strategies and start thinking. Okay, so why did we title the episode as we did "How to Furnish Your Property Like a Pro"? It's because what we're trying to do is be a bit cheeky and get you to think about things differently. And what the top people would be doing is thinking about the guest experience, thinking about supplier relationships, not just thinking about, do I need a double bed or a single bed? Do I need this kettle or that kettle? That's all the detail. That doesn't really matter. And that's something that we can figure out, and you can look and that sort of thing. It's all about exploring that supplier relationship and understanding that it's a core part of your business that you can leverage to do a lot more with. Now, you can do two sides of this equation. Oh, so there's three ways that you can go about it. And Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. So one of the ways that you can go about it is you can go and renegotiate your relationships with your current suppliers. You could find new suppliers, and you can negotiate that particular part of the equation. And even if you did that alone, that's going to bring efficiency and savings into your property. The other side of it, you could just set up an experience for people to be able to buy these products, and you don't have to have any relationship with the suppliers, and that could be your first entry point into this world. And then the third solution is to try to get something out of the box comparable to what you guys do. You've done a lot of that work for everybody, and then you've got the both sides of the equation, but you could also still pick up one side
Of course.
or the other side.
Yeah, I think
So
everyone should be doing it in one way or another. Just to like maybe try and summarize this in one sentence. We are all professionals in the experience economy. We know the experience economy very well. It's what pays the bills. We feel very strongly that hospitality professionals also need to familiarize themselves with the attention economy, because these companies that create attention and monetize attention, like Facebook and Google, I mean, those are markets for attention. That's what they do. They have a little bit of attention. Well, they have a lot of attention, but they have attention and they sell it, and that's how they make money. And they're printing tens of billions of dollars in profit every quarter. You also have very valuable attention. More than likely, you just haven't been thinking about your space in that way and monetizing it as effective as you could. And we would encourage you to start thinking about your space in that way. And that sort of starts to unlock a flywheel, in a lot of ways. You can get better products, pay less for them. Better products help you justify higher ADRs. Higher ADRs help drive more profits. And so you can create this nice flywheel if you just think about this in that way. And obviously, we're obsessed with this topic. We're building technology for this topic. So we would love to help people do this. It's a free platform. I mean, we make our money on off of the brand, basically. Yeah, and skimming margin. But you don't have to. You don't have to use us. You can do this on your own. If you would like to use us, you can go to minoanexperience.com, and click the join us button. But I'm happy to talk to people even if they don't, if they want to do it on their own, because I just think like people should be thinking about their business this way.
And isn't this a perfect segue into the offer which we talked about just before we got going?
Yeah. So anyone who's listening to this podcast, we've pulled together a special offer for listeners. So we're going to have a link in the show notes. If you click on that link, we will automatically apply a $25 gift card to your cart when you sign up. And so you can test us out to buy. We work with over 200 brands, so you can test us out and buy soaps or shampoos, or if you need to buy some outdoor furniture, you need to buy a throw pillow. There's tons of stuff that needs to be purchased. You can give us a test. yeah, and
That's
see what
very
you think.
kind. Thank you. And look, I want everyone to know that we're in the startup world, and these kind of offers. It's not that we've got millions of dollars trying to build this. We're out there trying to come up with great ideas and to facilitate some great solutions for everyone. Mark is the kind of person that you can send an email to, and he will, especially if it's a subject matter, saying, "Hey, have you thought about this or that?" And he'll be more than willing to start to grow and to listen and to help people out there. So thank you so much for the offer, Mark. Thank you so much for your time and coming on and sharing some absolute gold with everyone. The ideas are fantastic. For me, I'm not going to go back into it, but there's so many comparable things happening in the world right now in terms of the way that we market ourselves and brand ourselves, that I think you've hit the right lane, the right moment, the right time. So congratulations, and I'm really looking forward to sharing your journey and seeing you guys grow as a company, and seeing where we can keep in adding value to each other. So thank you very much.
Yeah, excited to come back. Hopefully, with some learnings. We get as we get it, do more and more of this stuff. We'll have hopefully more tips and tricks for people to learnings for people to apply in their own properties.
Beautiful. Look, Mark, thanks again. And if you are listening to the Accommodation Show on the podcast, make sure you give us a like, a follow, subscribe, give us your reviews and your feedback. If you're watching on YouTube or any of those kind of platforms, then once again, if you've got any comments, if you've got any questions, then I monitor it myself. Mark will jump in and out and answer questions as well. So please feel free to ask any questions as well. Once again, in the show notes, you've got everything that you need to get yourself going if you want to get the Minoan experience. And Mark, once again, thank you very much and have a fantastic rest of the day.
You as well. Thanks, Bart.
Thank you. Cool. Nice. Really
Great.
good.
Sorry, the sun
Really